Good morning. It's chilly out here after these 70-degree days. To wake up and it be down in the low 50s, and it's not supposed to warm up really a lot today. Come on, Nana. I have Bela with me this morning. Pops was still finishing up his breakfast, so I told him we're going to go ahead and go on out and start our walk. I ordered one of the little extension leashes for Nala. It'll give her, I think, about 24 feet. But she can be a little bit stubborn. She's my sweet girl. She's about 11 and a half years old. And her brother, Noble, we have her brother, her litter mate. But she's a rescue. I'll let her do her business. We got her when she was 8 months old. And the breeder that we had gotten Noble from called us and said that the little elderly couple that they had sold Nala to had decided they didn't want her after all. And she had not been well taken care of up to that point. She had been spayed before she was 4 months old, which is just really, really early. Can be damaging to a dog. And then, in addition to that, she had been fed pretty much exclusively table scraps. And now, understand that I do not have a problem with table scraps. We feed our doggies table scraps when we have something yummy and healthy that they would like. But this little couple, when we picked Nala up, the little woman told me that Nala got basically their gravy and biscuits from Hardee's. They did Hardee's pretty much every morning, and they would bring her gravy and biscuits. So that's how her life started. And when we picked her up, she weighed a full 20 pounds more than her litter mate. So you can imagine, she has absolutely always struggled with health issues. And we've tried to control her diet. I actually took her to the vet when she's probably about 3 or 4 years old because we could not get her weight under control. And that young vet told me, he said, well, you know that working breeds really require so few calories when they're not actually in the field working, that I would suggest you only give her 1 cup of food a day. 1 cup of food for an 80-pound doggie. I tried cutting her back to that for a while, and Hugh finally said to me, she's hungry, let her eat. He was getting frustrated. So I started giving her almost as much as the others get, but it's just hard, because that's one of the reasons that I've determined she is having problems getting up and down. That's the reason she has the little harness on. That way we can help her stand up in the morning and in the evening and whenever throughout the day. But I'm going to just make it a real effort to give her some more exercise, just to help her maybe keep her weight down at this point in her life. So that she's not struggling worse than she needs to. But yeah, and Bela's mama was a 100% golden retriever. We're pretty certain that his daddy might have been a black Newfie. I don't know. His daddy was a black something. But he is a joy. He just loves being here. He had belonged to our Jared. Bela. He doesn't hear well. So most of the time I feel like I'm talking to Hugh when I'm talking to him. Oh, gracious. But Hugh's going to come out in a few moments and go ahead and run the tractor through. I got everything up yesterday. All of my stakes pulled. I just have 2 little pieces of the white. This one's just a little short piece. But 2 little pieces of the white grid plastic that's to keep the plants safe, keep them from blowing over. And then we have 2 pieces of the plastic. I'm not using plastic next year. Chelsea and I have decided that we're going to use the actual cover crop as weed control. This will be something new that we haven't tried before. But anyway, I rolled up that one long piece. I've got to pull the other one off and roll it up as well. But this worked fine. But we just, it's aggravating. It's just really aggravating. I think that we would rather just use the cover crop and, extinguish it a couple of weeks before it's time to replant. Cover it over with a piece of black plastic, but that will be used again and again and again. But it'll just be covered over for 2 weeks while it finishes extinguishing any weeds and the cover crop itself. And then we're going to plant directly through the cover crop. That will do several good things for us. It will leave those roots in the ground, keep the ground softer. It will also provide the food for the microbes, which the microbes provide the food for the earthworms, and on into that ecosystem. And then the cover crop itself will provide a mulch. The mulch layer will protect the plants from water, it will protect the ground itself from being pounded with water, which also, believe it or not, just rainfall onto bare ground will actually compact it. So the cover crop will give a cushion and keep the rain from pounding the dirt and causing it to be compacted. It will also keep the ground cooler. It will also keep the ground more damp so that it won't dry out so quickly. And it will also keep the mud from splashing up on the plants, which helps to prevent disease. So yeah, it's going to be a completely new way of growing for us. And on the front end, it will be a little bit more intense. If you can imagine, pulling aside an extinguished cover crop in your little rows and planting through it. But for the rest of the season, it should provide so much benefit that it'll be worth the extra work at the beginning. But and we've decided to go ahead and leave these straw flowers in the ground until they have finished doing whatever they're going to do for us. Who's coming with the tractor? And I'm going to use this, remember across the road where I showed you the grassy spot right in the middle of those 2 beds? Well, we're going to do the same thing over here. Building a little rock pile and putting in some birdhouses and some little log piles and providing all kinds of habitat for our birds and for our bees and for our snakes and anything that's beneficial in a garden. So this row and however much beside it will be that area. So yeah, I'm excited to get all of this finished today. And it is supposed to rain at some point today. Not sure what time. But if it rains, it's not supposed to be very much rain. And we'll get back within the next day or 2 and finish getting our beds ready for next season. But I'll show you what we get done. And I hope that your day will be lovely. There comes Hugh Best. Good morning, Papa. He can't hear me. Bela is actually his dog. And I mean, if dogs belong to anybody. Papa is his preferred person, I suppose. Well, we'll tell him that. Bela, well, he's waving. Bela does love his papa. All right, well, let's go find these two. I see them. All right, guys. Love you much. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.